I don't know about you, but I thought there was a distant chance that Gus might be with his biological father, Josh. After all, many of these incidents when children disappear typically involve family members, typically involve a kind of a custody situation, an untenable custody situation. But the fact that the cops zeroed in on Josh right in the beginning and actually woke him up at his home always made this possibility the longest of long shots. And now, thanks to the Daily Mail, we can scratch this idea off the list of possibilities as well. According to the Mail, Gus Lamont's father Joshua has broken cover for the first time in more than a month. Well, I'm not sure it's a case that he broke cover or that the Daily Mail tracked him down, but they are right about this next point. Still no closer to learning what has happened to his 4-year-old boy since he vanished in the South Australian Outback weeks ago, the tragic ordeal appears to be taking its toll on the former country musician. Mr. Lamont was pictured on Tuesday looking distinctly more pale and thin than older photos, his red hair and beard flecked with grey as he appeared to be going to work, dressed in tradie hivers. It's quite a far cry from the glamour days as this country musician. And you can see the emotion, the heartache in Josh's eyes. Look closer.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't feel. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science. Now, when briefly approached for comment by the Daily Mail, the devastated father reacted angrily. Well, is that anger or grief? Perhaps both. One has to feel for Josh, who left his dilapidated property and who last month seemed to be staying with his brother Samuel. At the time, his brother told the Daily Mail that Joshua wasn't ready to be interviewed about his missing son. But when asked again on Tuesday if there had been any change, Samuel loudly shouted to get off the property now. Echoes of this, I guess.
Who are you?
Pardon?
Who are you?
I'm with the media.
Out! You are trespassing. Get out!
I'm so sorry.
Get out! Are you deaf?
Now it seems Jess married someone not unlike Gus's grandparent, someone feisty. But Josh is no longer with Samuel, so where is he now? Josh Lamont now appears to be living in Adelaide, more than 290 kilometers away from where his son was last seen. Daily Mail understands he's staying in a home owned by Shannon and Josie, despite multiple sources recently claiming he didn't get along with Jess's parents. Now, this must mean there's been some sort of progress in terms of his relationship with his in-laws. It could also be that Shannon has basically been the one to offer this accommodation. It also shows once again how much power grandparents wield in this dynamic, if only financial power.
And that's enough.
According to the Daily Mail, the Murrays have owned the property in Adelaide's northwestern suburbs since 2009, and it's now worth more than $1 million Australian dollars. I actually did some research of my own, and thanks very much to Mark for sending me the document. And I see that both Shannon and Josie, formerly Robert, inherited the farm from Shannon's father. It was after that happened, as I understand it, that Robert, now Josie, transitioned. In my opinion, Shannon's father would not have left his property to Robert if Robert had transitioned when he was still alive. On page 17 of Vincent Pfeiffer's last will and testament, which is a matter of public record in Australia, Gus's great-grandfather bequeathed this to Josie. It's point number 6, and I think it's actually on page 3, not 17. I give and devise unto my said son-in-law all my estate and interest in that piece of land situated in the county of Herbert, being block 17, and being the whole of the land presently comprised in Land Grant Register Book Volume 1049, Folio 15, which said land is presently owned by my said daughter and myself as tenants in common and known as Grampus. Vincent also gave away property in Adelaide to Shannon. It's not clear if this is the same property Josh has been staying in. Point 10 is also interesting. I declare that if any child of my said daughter and my said son-in-law shall be a minor at the date of my death, then my trustees may, at their discretion, pay any share of any such child in the residue of my estate to his or her parent or guardian for the time being, and any such payment shall be a good discharge to my trustees, who shall not be bound to see to the further application thereof. What does this mean? Well, I'm not sure if it's applicable, because I don't think Gus was born at the time of Vincent's death, but I could be wrong. I mean, it is possible that some sort of allocation that would normally accrue to Shannon and Josie might now be available to Josh according to his needs, especially as he was ready to go to school. Even if it wasn't strictly applicable, one can imagine that the situation would have arisen sort of organically anyway, that whatever was in the pot now has got to be distributed to, there's another mouth to feed, and then another one with Ronnie as well. And we can see that Gus may have required a lot of resources since Josh wasn't really in a position to provide. Who knows, these growing demands, especially with a second child on the cards, may have caused a strain or tensions, if only financially. And you can imagine Josh simply wanting to visit his child causing tensions. Now, whatever the reality of this case, one of the most mysterious figures is Jess, Gus's mother. A rare image of Jessica, according to the Daily Mail, in which she wears a formal black outfit with the addition of 8 piercings in one ear, shows her supporting her musician partner at a state award show. Another picture taken at the event shows them posing in front of a media wall. Mr. Lamont was the frontman of Adelaide country band The Cut Snakes, who won a People's Choice Award at the Bonnython Hall event. Now, it seems as if that family has fallen on hard times since those photos were taken, doesn't it? And with the arrival of Gus. And now with his disappearance, things have only gotten even harder, even more difficult. Other friends have described Jess as introverted and shy, and it's believed she rarely joined her partner, who is far more outgoing, on the road as he toured rural South Australian pubs with the Cut Snakes. On Wednesday, a source close to the couple revealed they did not live together because Mr. Lamont clashes with Josie Murray. The insider explained the couple have a commuter relationship, with Josh living at a basic farmhouse in Ballali North near Jamestown, a 2-hour drive from Oak Park. His brother Samuel insisted that Mr. Lamont was once a country singer performing in South Australian pubs under the name Billy T, was in no state to talk to anyone. And apparently he is still in no state to talk to anyone, yet he is able to go to work. And it's hard for me to imagine someone in a band, someone who's basically an extrovert, someone who played to raucous crowds in the past, suddenly becoming a shrinking violet. You know, someone who, I guess, gave a press conference when he won this award. Well, now he has become kind of shy, a shrinking violet. He has nothing to say. And that's hard to imagine unless he was told to
Shut your face!
And if he didn't shut his face, perhaps he'd have to get out. Does that apply to anyone else as well? Does that apply to everyone else? Now, none of this means any of Gus's family are involved in his disappearance, but it is rare where we are, where are we, 6 weeks later, to have not a single member of Gus's family appeal directly to the media for help, for tips, but instead they've had others do so once or twice on their behalf. It's also rare for the mother to disappear completely under these circumstances as well, although we saw something similar in the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan earlier this year in Canada. But I do believe that their mother, did make one appearance before she disappeared. And she also ended up leaving the property. Now, one wonders how much of what happened in that case is pertinent in this one. For example, polygraph tests.
The documents reveal that as of July 16th, investigators did not believe the case was criminal. By that point, 6 polygraph tests had been done, including on both Brooks Murray and Martel. They were also done on Martel's mother, on Brooks Murray's mother and her partner, and on the children's biological father.
Well, Well, has that happened in this case, and what do you think? Is that necessary? It's also not clear where and when the fourth search that has been mooted is going to take place.
Well, police have announced another search.
They have, Will. This will be the fourth, and all indications are it's unlikely to be the last either. Grant Stevens has also defended police search efforts over the past 5 weeks. He says 2 reviews were carried out by experts, but they found no criticism of the tactics used by police.
Well, I have one criticism, and that is Gus has still not been found. And that's not good. Anyway, that is my criticism. I don't think you can pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself when it's basically a situation that's unsolved. I don't think you should say there's nothing else we can do and there's nothing we can be criticized for. I think you've got to be self-critical and think about the things you aren't doing. Anyway, that's my view. Well, I'm not going to take it further than that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.